Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and that's right, reviewing Christmassy materials on the weekends has officially begun. And that's right, you read the title of what I'm reviewing first, reviewing Christmassy materials on the weekends, and this coming straight from Disney+, and that being Christmas with Walt Disney. That's right. This documentary, this 51-minute documentary that came out on Disney Plus not long ago, and I didn't know what to expect at first with what it would be like. I assumed that it was probably going to be something from, the early days of Disney on television, one of those, Disney Christmas specials that Walt Disney hosted in the early 1950s. But no, because actually I realized, and as I was watching this documentary comes straight from the Walt Disney Family Museum, and basically it's it's about, Walt Disney and his love for Christmas, and how, Christmas being a huge part of Disney. Yeah, and yeah, it was really good. Again, not what I was expecting at first until I realized what this really was about. And yeah, so, alright, so as always, read the description / the story. In a Walt Disney Family Museum original production directed by Don Hahn, and he also wrote this, view Disney family home movies and holiday segments from Walt's shorts and feature films as Walt's daughter, the late Diana, shares her Christmas memories alongside Disney family home movies, holiday segments, classic Disney films, and vintage Disneyland footage. So again, I really enjoyed this 51-minute documentary, and yeah, because I can also tell that for this coming straight from the Walt Disney Family Museum, well, this had to be made, years back, and, well, because the late Diana Disney Miller's voice is, in this, and she's narrating, and clearly she did this before she passed away. And it's nice that, something from the Walt Disney Family Museum, any documentary or whatever it is that's played at the Walt Disney Family Museum, coming straight to Disney Plus. I love that. And this being one of them. I don't recall, if there's been any other, documentaries from the Walt Disney Family Museum that have made its way to Disney Plus. I'll have to go back and look. And if you guys know, feel free to let me know in the comments section. Yeah, but again, because Diana narrating this and going through the history and her memories of when, her and her family, especially her father, would celebrate Christmas, and even when, during the good old days of Disney and when Walt was around, the Disney era of when Walt Disney, was, in charge of Disney. And again, his love for Christmas and how, how he spent it with his family, and how he incorporated Christmas in his, feature films, his shorts, and in the Disney parks, and of course with Disneyland. Just so magical. Especially during the golden age of Disney, what they brought during Christmas time was just so memorable and magical. Definitely magical. And how, there were plenty of, Disney short films and feature films where they had Christmas to them. Some of the feature films, well, they're not entirely Christmassy, but there's just a little bit of Christmas to them. The Swiss Family Robinson film, The Happiest Millionaire, Lady and the Tramp, because there's... In the documentary, one story that I'm first thinking of is how Walt Disney had always wanted a dog, but his wife, Lillian, did not want a dog at all. But he, sure enough, convinced his wife when one Christmas he got a puppy for his wife and put the puppy in a hat box. And sure enough, the puppy became a part of the family. And I was also having a little conversation with my mom where she told me that the Disney family had a lot of cats and dogs. Okay. I didn't really know that. Thanks for letting me know, Mom. And how? Because, what Walt did, that one Christmas with a puppy in a hat box, how that would be incorporated in Lady and the Tramp. And, Christmas being a big part of the beginning and ending of Lady and the Tramp. Yeah, and the fact that, we had, a new Christmas song as Walt established for Lady and the Tramp. And how also, because, on TV, the good old days of Disney on television, when they had those Christmas specials, like one of them that I know very well of, and I was thinking, could this be one of them? And again, this was before I started watching this and I didn't know what to expect. I was thinking, because, it could be one of them, one of the Christmas specials that came on during the early 50s, maybe the one from 1950 or 1951. And I remember very well seeing the one from 1950. That was during when, this was a year before Alice in Wonderland came out, and how, there was a tease for it, showing Alice in Wonderland, showing the Mad Tea Party sequence. The late Hans Connery was the Magic Mirror. He was the Magic Mirror a couple of times. And how Edgar Bergen was in one of the Disney Christmas specials, which being titled 1 Hour in Wonderland, and how they played a couple of samples from 1 Hour in Wonderland, most notably where we see a couple of Walt Disney's animators who are working on Alice in Wonderland. They take a little break without Walt knowing, and they're called the Firehouse Five, and they start playing Jingle Bells with their musical instruments. So yeah, there's that. And one of the members of the Firehouse Five, and it's more than just 5 members of the Firehouse Five, one of them being a young Frank Thomas playing a piano, and it was nice that they showed, their names came up, the members of the Firehouse Five, yeah, and Frank Thomas being one of them. I'd know when I would see Frank Thomas, because, well, most notably, Frank Thomas, along with, Frank Thomas's, buddy/colleague, I guess you could say, Ollie Johnson, they're wearing glasses. So, yeah, I'm just saying, So that was really cool, and a bit of samples that they played of, the short films, one of them, which is about Mickey and Pluto getting a Christmas tree, and Chip and Dale happened to be in the Christmas tree, if anybody remembers that short film. And there was also, I think it's titled Once Upon a December? Yeah, I think so. And it was in, I think, Melody Time? Yeah, that. One of the Disney package films. Yeah, that. And, yeah, there was that, and a couple of others, and also, it's not Christmassy, but they still mentioned it. Well, actually, because, skiing being a huge part, skiing and ice skating being a huge part around the holidays and when it's winter, and the one where they showed a sample of it, Goofy learning how to ski, if anybody remembers that short film. And they played a little bit of Bambi ice skating because, Walt Disney, ice skating, and he's not getting a good grip of it, almost slipping a couple of times. And it's funny, going back and forth, showing the footage of Walt trying to ice skate and cutting back to, Mickey, Minnie ice skating. Yeah, because that one, Mickey Mouse short where Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Goofy are ice skating, and showing footage of Bambi slipping on the ice. Yeah, that was pretty good. And funny, of course. And also, mentioning footage of Walt ice skating, his I wouldn't say failed attempt, because, he's trying, his attempt to ice skate. The Disney Family Home Movies, yeah, because according to Diana, her dad was really obsessed with, with a home movie camera and filming a lot, especially with his daughters, and how, we see, I guess, never before seen footage of when they were little babies, and And I think, yeah, Diana stated that she was born a week, I think, before or after Christmas. And, the next year, her first official Christmas, and the presents that her and her sister had gotten, and the fact that outside of their backyard, a very big Christmas gift for them, they had their own playhouse. Like, in the playhouse, water was working, and the phone rang, and because this is all according to Diana, because a phone had rung, in the playhouse, and they answered it, and it was Santa Claus asking them if, how they're enjoying their playhouse, and, their response was, "We like it very much." That was very sweet for Walt and Lillian, what they got for their daughters on Christmas, especially Walt. Like, definitely they had the best father, for sure. And also, yeah, because more of the Disney family home movies where, again, like, Walt and the rest of the family learning how to ice skate, and Walt slipping at times, which is pretty funny. And also, in the documentary, it's mentioned during the 1940s, and especially, at that time when World War II struck, and how, the soldiers moved into the Disney studios, and, during the early 40s, Disney and his crew, they went to South America, for 3 months, and during their, visit and, trip to South America, that's when, Saludos Amigos and the Three Caballeros happened, and how in the Three Caballeros there's a bit of Christmas in it, and how, Panchito is talking about, a group of children, like, reacting the whole thing of Mary and Joseph, if you know what I'm talking about, and, for those of you that have seen the Three Caballeros. Yeah, very touching and important thing that was established in the Three Caballeros. And coming to Disneyland, and at that time, like, how they celebrated Christmas and the parades that they have, oh my gosh, like, nothing like what you would see as of today. Like, one of them being, and this was really cool, that, they had, people from different parts of the world coming to Disneyland for a parade, and how they celebrate Christmas. Like, Japan, China, I think Egypt, yeah, it's really cool, like, what they did for one of the, like, Christmassy parades that Disneyland had. And again, like, the TV specials that were on, the old days of television and with Disney, and even, like, say, there was also this, Olympic skiing event or something that Walt Disney was a big part of. Even his son-in-law, Ron Miller, was a part of it as well. And we do get a bit of narration from Ron Miller, his voice. And even Walter Cronkite was there too as one of, like, the TV hosts, which was really cool. Like, at the start of it, like, when it was about to begin, like, the snow had poured in, it was very windy and cold, and the marching band, according to Diana, because the marching band, their lips were kind of frozen, and, from playing their instruments, but sure enough, the weather died down, and thus the Olympic, like, skiing event did happen. Oh, it was really good. And also, the mentions of Walt's grandkids, and how, like, from time to time, like, Walt would be in the Disneyland parade, and, he would have kids on board, a vehicle that he would be in, and, he finally got his grandkids to ride with him in the Disneyland parade. Oh, just very sweet and touching. And of course, Walt Disney being the best, grandfather, definitely. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, because even to this day, they still do it now at Epcot, and that being the Christmas Story, and how they would get a celebrity/movie star to do the narration. And according to Diana, she remembers movie stars like Cary Grant and Charlton Heston doing the narration. Yeah, just really cool. And the fact that, this started at Disneyland, and years later, and when Epcot happened, and what they do, for Christmas, and how it now resides at Epcot. Everything about this documentary, Christmas with Walt Disney, is really good and enjoyable, knowing, again, the history of, Walt and his family, when they celebrated Christmas, and how much Walt Disney, everything about this documentary, Christmas with Walt Disney, is really good and enjoyable, and knowing the history of Walt and his family celebrating and enjoying Christmas, and how much Walt loved Christmas. And it was a nice way for, how this documentary ended, because we get the music of the Nutcracker Suite taken directly straight from Fantasia, and a little, clip montage from any of, the short films, the feature films, the Disney Family home movies, and, of course, Fantasia, because of the Nutcracker Suite, how it ended it off, it was a nice way to end it. Christmas with Walt Disney is a really good documentary about the history of, the Disney family, and of course, Disney itself, how, it celebrated Christmas back then, and Walt's love for Christmas, just everything about it. This documentary, straight from the Walt Disney Family Museum, and what Don Hahn brought to this, because him being in charge of this, writing and directing this, and Diana Disney Miller's voice, because she was the narrator, just fantastic. I really enjoyed this documentary, and I'm giving it 10 out of 10 stars. Yes, 10 out of 10 stars for the Walt Disney Family Museum documentary, Christmas with Walt Disney. And what about you guys? What did you think of the documentary itself? And if any of you have been to the Walt Disney Family Museum and have actually gotten to see this, and what did you think of my review? Leave comments and give this review video a like, as always. So, with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the Walt Disney Family Museum documentary, Christmas with Walt Disney. More review videos are on the way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review. And I almost forgot to mention that, I definitely wanted to review this, because seeing as how Walt's birthday is upon us. Yep, so there you go. And happy early birthday to the late legendary Walt Disney, the man who started it all. And yep, once again, reviewing Christmassy materials on the weekends has officially begun. Stay tuned for more. Take care, peace out, and Merry Christmas / happy holidays to you all.